Boys! Welcome back. Let me start with an apology for my absence. I am aware that I took 2 days of absenteeism relatively unannounced, and for that, I feel bad. Also, my camera and my lighting might be a little bit off. It's not entirely my fault. Oh wait, yes it is. It's entirely my fault. I moved my equipment because, here's the thing. I have purchased, at this point in my life, upwards of 5 Nintendo Switches. Now granted, 2 of them are Switch Lites, 1 of them was an upgrade to an OLED model, but the big Switch purchase that I made was, there is a Switch with a dock behind me on my television. And because I got annoyed at having to move the Switch from the television to my computer to do streaming on the Switch, I bought a second Switch as a dedicated streaming Switch. You can judge me for that purchase all you want, but I stream every day, so I was like, it's a justification. Now, where am I going with this? The thing that I haven't done is I haven't bought a second camera. So the camera and the ring light that I use for my streaming, if I ever want to make, if I ever want to film content with like the nice quality camera and set up the ring light, and by content I mean like content upstairs in my bedroom, like any good wholesome Christian boy, I have to move my whole ring light, my ring light and my camera from stream. And doing that is a massive pain in the ass because I finally get it where I want it, then I move it, then I have to move back, and everything's all wrong, and then things don't plug into my computer correctly, and I don't understand why at this point in my life I haven't just bought a second camera. There's no reason I shouldn't, especially because I'm pretty sure I could like write it off as a business expense. What's that thing from Schitt's Creek? You write it off. You buy whatever you want, and then you write it off. I'm gonna go to jail for tax fraud. Tax season is upon me. Because here's the thing about being people from the internet. I believe this is true of like YouTube, because I believe it or not, I should be getting... Taxes are annoying. When you're on the internet, I can't figure out my lighting for the life of me. Okay, that's fine. It doesn't matter. We're just gonna look pale and like a vampire and a little bit fleshed out. Yeah? Great. It's the look I'm going for, actually. So, I can't file my taxes until I have all of my documents, and unlike my days where I worked a regular person job, I waited for a single W-2 from my employer, now I have to wait to get tax documents from OnlyFans, let's just call a spade, alternative website, just for fans, YouTube.com, because I have made money through YouTube, TikTok, because I have made money through TikTok, a third-party organization where I get my payments from JJ Malibu, which is my most regular sponsor that I work with, so that is a income source that I need documentation from. Investments, high yield banking accounts, I think I'm forgetting something. Is that might be all of them. There's something's got to be amiss. I don't know. See, this is why it gets confusing. I can't keep track of everything. What I know is that I don't have most of these things because there's so many different sources of documentation that all have to come into me. I have to go through my notes. Keep in mind, I don't do this all in my head. I do have a computer that I work on, and I do have like folders and organization that has like everything that I need. So I have a checklist to go through. Then I do have a in-person folder where I keep all of my tax documents. It's just most of the people who I know in my life, they've already filed their taxes and are waiting for their lovely returns. I have to wait like a month and a half to get all of my tax shit together, and then I get to play the game where I find out if I owe money to the government on top of what I have already paid them. It's we keep our fingers crossed that I've done a good job. Anyways, we're here to play the game. I should probably get my hellos in order. Oh wait, there's a bug. Give me one moment. I lost it. If it shows up again, I'll try to kill it. It's a mosquito. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but yeah. What was I gonna say? We're gonna play a game? Yeah, let's do that. Okay. John Brown, hello. Fiction of Grandeur, Changeling DJ, Dogface, Jacob Welsh, Josh Scott, and the rest of you. Hi. Thank you for being here. Thank you for not totally ditching out in my absence. Thank you for being patient with me. You have to understand, I skipped the live stream like a rebellious teenager because I went out on a couple dates with a boy. That's all. You guys know how it goes, right? This is what we as gays do. We shirk our responsibilities for handsome men. Oh, I'm so fucking whipped. It's actually painfully soul-crushing to me, actually. And I fear that nothing good is going to come out of this. But, hey, you know what? They say that the journey's half the fun, right? So let's ride it while we can. All right, it's February 20th. Hey, it almost is, actually. It is February, at least. It's February the 1st. Valentine's is going to be coming up. So if you guys have romantic interests in your life to do Valentine's with, that's amazing. And if you don't, well, I don't know what day Valentine's Day falls on. If it's a weekday and you have nobody in your life, you can hang out with me, probably. If it's a weekend, I might not be here, though. Anyways. We're at the Old Bailey, the defendant's antechamber. If I remember correctly, because it's been a hot minute, our client, we learned next to nothing about, actually. So that's grand, you know. We know that he is accused of stabbing large woman in street. And I talked to a couple, a man who makes his wife dress as a maid, and we learned that they have a lot of domestic violence between them, and there's a lot of shit going on. There's a lot of slapping, and there might have been an affair, but there might have not been an affair. But I digress. We didn't really learn anything that's going to help me, I don't think. So I don't really know what we're going into today. Let's just see how it goes. Okay. Also, Fiction of Grandeur, thank you so much for the $10. Have a drink on me. I know this isn't enough for a nice camera, but maybe it'll help. Also, when you're ready to play another RPG, I recommend Chrono Trigger or Partners in Time. I love time travel. Ooh, pardon me. Time travel is on the agenda. Time travel, Jesus Christ. Partners in Time, the Mario RPG, that's on the agenda. Oh, there it goes. Fiction of Grandeur. Sorry it was delayed. Jesus. So that's... I think that's 2 drinks I need to drink now, because I think I gave John Thomas an IOU. And, Fiction of Grandeur, I am going to take you up on that drink. Not at this exact moment, only because... my throat's feeling a little bit funny, and I don't want to agitate it with alcohol. However, I do love to drink alcohol. So, I'm going to actually make a mental note to tell myself to get shit-faced for the next live stream that I'm feeling very healthy on. Alright, 2 drinks, so we can start bright and early with two shots of vodka. It'll be fantastic. Also, I shouldn't get drunk right before court, right? I have to be responsible. And then TJ Magic's is Spirit Tracks still on the menu. TJ Maxx, yes, it absolutely is. In fact, this is just between you and me, so everybody else on the live stream, shut your fucking ears for a second, but, Spirit Tracks might be closer on the horizon than you think, actually, so just, hang tight through the end of The Great Ace Attorney, and, maybe you'll, be catching some trains. Okay, well, I never expected this. Who'd have thought we'd be back here again so soon? Tito TJ, hello!
Well, we are on a study of a tour of Great Britain with the intention of learning the country's legal practices. In order to research the latest court procedures here, we need as much court experience as possible.
Well, yeah, I suppose that's true, but for the person in the dock, it may well be his or her one and only time in court. It could be life-changing. Yeah. In which case, treating it as research, it might seem a little bit crass. Yeah, Susato-san, have a little cultural sensitivity. We might be watching a man get sentenced to death today.
Oh, well, when you put it like that, yeah, I guess you're right.
Good morning! Oh, it's you. Oh, hi. Mr. Natsume. Good morning.
Oh dear. Are you alright? Your eyes, they're terribly bloodshot.
Oh my god. I'm trying to be responsible and not drink, and this man's showing up to court drunk or high. One or the other. I'm not totally sure which. I just hate the position of my camera right now, and I'm very sorry about that. I'll have to adjust it at a later time. I have to let it go for now. It's fine, George. You look the same every fucking day. It makes no fucking difference. Okay, terribly bloodshot eyes. I'm a little distracted, but don't worry. I'm here to help you. I'm gonna solve the case in record time. Probably not. Early bird catches the worm, as they say here in Britain. Yeah, I mean, I've heard that expression too. I don't think it's exclusive to Britain. But I really don't want to catch a worm. So I tried desperately not to wake up early, but I was worried I couldn't catch a wink.
And now, I'm absolutely exhausted as a result.
Wow. Do all literary people take things so literally?
Right. Well, thank you for putting your faith in us today, Mr. Natsume.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I wish I had not laughed! My whole future hangs in the balance! I'm too terrified to tremble!
Really? You know, I could feel the tremors in the floor that you're pouncing around on.
I can't do this! I can't take it!
Sir, you're giving me the hiccups. Fuck.
Hello, locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire.
Yeah, that's me. What's up?
I caught a glimpse of the public gallery as I walked by the courtroom. It looked as though the opening night of the opera, there were so many people. I had no idea my case was such notorious affairs here in London.
Right. I mean, neither did I. Maybe I'm famous because I beat the Reaper. Do you know why that might be, Miss Susato?
Well, I'm sorry, Mr. Naruhodo. I have no idea.
I'm going to guess it's because I beat the Reaper. I think I'm super cool and super popular, and I'm kind of like a badass, and I bet, you know, I bet Franny and Francesca, or wait, that's the same person. I bet Frankie and Franny are in the courthouse right now, and they're about to be like,
oh my god! It's the lawyer boy who beat the Reaper!
10 out of 10. That's probably what's going to happen. If it does happen, I expect a donation from every member in chat, because you're all going to be like, wow, George, you're so fucking smart. You could write this shit. That's my prediction. I'm setting it in stone. So that all-knowing look on your face is just a coincidence then, is it?
Don't hide the truth from me! It's because of the Reaper, isn't it?
Are you suggesting he's more popular than I am? Because I feel like I'm earning a reputation. Lord Von Zeeks. Is that right, Miss Susato?
Well, I purchased as many different newspapers as I could find this morning, and yeah. Lord Von Zeeks is on the front page of every one.
Damn it! Why is he more popular than me? I knew it!
Sometime after the prosecutor was dubbed the Reaper of the Bailey, he stopped appearing in court, it seems. It's been several years now, in fact, until the day before yesterday.
Yeah, Inspector Gregson told us something similar, didn't he? The trial 2 days ago marked Lord Von Zeeks' return to the courtroom after a very long hiatus. The trial of Magnus McGilded. Yeah, that was a real harrowing experience.
I believe that appearance made even greater waves here in the capital than today's.
But we wouldn't have realized, of course, having only just arrived in the country.
Why is the Reaper back in the Bailey so soon for what appears to be a mundane murder?
Yeah. Wait, I thought it wasn't a murder. I thought she survived. Wait, what are we talking about? Which case?
Well, that's the question the papers are asking. And they're all speculating various answers.
Oh, these are tabloids, I see. Also, Bushy? Thank you.
Mundane! It's the most significant saga of the century to some of us! Oh, dear. Look, I meant no offense, Mr. Natsume, but that's how the paper's describing it. Well, lest we also forget the fact that it could spark an international incident. Obviously, the appearance of this infamous prosecutor has caught people's attention. But there's another blatant similarity with the trial from 2 days ago. Yes, I agree. Locum student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. It's you!
Me? Oh yeah. I mean, I suppose that's kind of true.
Both times, it's you who stands against this legendary prosecutor. It can only mean that you're friends with the Reaper!
Wouldn't that make us enemies, rivals? Two men that have profound sexual tension with one another? Look, please, I don't rub shoulders with Deathbringers. I just pop a finger in their asshole every once in a while. Rub their taints a little, you know. Shit that's not gay, brah.
Look, I'm afraid there's only one other explanation. It can only be another example, Mr. Naruhodo, of your uncommon bad luck.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, right. Bad luck. Did I mention that my boyfriend died? That really sucked.
Oh, this is just my luck. Why must I be represented with a man with such frail fortune? By the least lucky lawyer alive!
Sir, are you forgetting that I won my 1-in-1 case? I'm on a 1-for-1 winning record, actually. 2-for-2, actually, because I did do a case in Japan. 2 out of 2, that is a 100% success rate. I am undefeated. I'm a prodigy. Fuck yeah, I am. Let's not forget. Also, Mr. Natsume, respectfully, it was you who asked me to represent you, so maybe calm the fuck down. It's true that I'm just a student, and that I'm new to London, and that I have little experience, and that I have little skills, and that I have little luck. But I can promise you this. I'm gonna fight in your corner until the bitter end, and I will believe in you, Mr. Natsume.
Oh, benevolence! Locum student, Mr. Naruhodo Esquire. You're not alone here with us, Mr. Natsume. Whatever happens, we will always be on your side. Oh, benevolent, non-locum assistant, Miss Mitochondria Esquire-S.
It's Mikatoba, actually.
Naruhodo, you got my name correct!
Yeah, I know. After your dad died, I figured I should probably learn it.
I am in your debts forever. I shall never forget this great kindness for as long as I live.
Mr. Natsume, counsel for the defense!
Oh, I guess it's time.
Court session's about to begin. Kindly make your way into the courtroom at once.
Boys, we're starting. It's only 20 minutes into stream. All right then, Mr. Natsume, it's time. Let's go.
Yeah!
Great. I suspect everything's gonna be smooth sailing from this point on. This is it. My second appearance in a British courtroom. And my second trial against the Reaper. Oh, that's my boyfriend. He's dead. I hope you're watching over me, Kaz. You know, I miss your fluttering bandana every single day of my life, actually. God, your smoldering stare and that jawline for days. You make me feel ugly. And that makes me so attracted to you. This time, I'm not gonna let my faith waver. I believe in my client, and I'm gonna believe in him to the last. Just like you believed in me, Kazuma. I believe I can do this. I'm ready for this fight. Yes. Fiction of grandeur. Everybody always talks about the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Here's a fun science fact that I want you guys to take throughout the rest of your life, because this is true. Whenever anybody is like, oh, what's a science fact you know? Everybody and their fucking mothers goes, well, I know that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. You want a more fun, a more spicy fact about the mitochondria? We call it the powerhouse of the cell because it's the energy-producing organelle. It does oxidative phosphorylation. It generates ATP. How it does it is with a transmembrane protein called an ATP synthase. Now, you don't need to know these details. Basically, what it does is that it synthesizes ATP. Because it is a transmembrane protein, it is found in the membrane of the mitochondria. The mitochondria has two membranes. I know this is sounding sciencey, but I promise it's going to make sense, and it's going to lead to a spicy fact. Follow me on this path, you guys. The mitochondria, you all kind of vaguely know what it looks like, I hope. If you all know it's the powerhouse of the cell, it's a double membrane organelle. It's kind of shaped like this, like a little oval, and then it's like squiggly inside, like doodly doodly. Oh, I should get a picture. Wait a second. Guys, we're doing a science lesson. I'm going to do it real fast. Mitochondria. Images. I'm going to impress you all today. What is a good picture? I mean, suffice it to say, this one will do just fine. Save the image. She's saved. Go over to stream. Add image. Adding. Wait, where the fuck is that? Oh, image. Okay. Add an image. Browse. I just downloaded it, and it is the mitochondria. That is the powers of the cell, and there she is. Okay, so lesson of the day. You guys are gonna be seeing a picture of a cell, and in that cell, you're gonna see the organelle that is the mitochondria, and you'll see its little squigglies because it has a double membrane. It has an outer membrane and it has an inner membrane. The fun, spicy fact about the mitochondria is much like our brains, she's highly invaginated. The mitochondria has all of those folds you see. Those are invaginations. She is so fucking invaginated. And when you are so fucking invaginated, you get so much energy out of those invaginations. That is because when you invaginate your membrane, it creates more surface area without increasing the length. Our brains work the same way, actually. Our brains, so if you want to insult somebody, you used to be able to call them smooth brained, because human brains, our brains aren't the biggest, they don't just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. To increase surface area, our brains became invaginated. That's why they look all folded in everywhere. The mitochondria is the same way. The ATP synthases, the things that make the ATP, they are located along the inner mitochondrial membrane. And that membrane is the one that looks all foldy like, because by folding it up and making these invaginations, that is where you get more surface area. If you have more surface area, you can stick more ATP synthases in those invaginations, and then you can generate more energy. And having more energy is what we always want. So the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and it functions so efficiently because she is so fucking invaginated. And now you know. That is a real fact. When you want to increase surface area, biology creates invaginations. Our brains are highly invaginated. the mitochondria is highly invaginated. And it's a fun fact that you should like go and tell your parents at dinner and say you learned it on the internet. You know, responsibly. So with all of that out of the way, I do recall that you guys did not come here for that. You came here to watch me play a game. So I'm gonna get back to it now, okay? All right. I don't have a smooth transition to go from where we ended up to where we are. I forgot how I even got on the topic of the mitochondria, but let's refocus. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. Oh my god, are we gonna get to meet the Queen, do you think? I now call upon the counsels for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed. The prosecution is fully prepared, my lord. As is the defense. I'm quite ready, my lord. My eyes, they're shifting. Right, we're doing great. The Nipponese are a truly fascinating breed. I'm sorry? What? Lord Strongheart has told me all about you. That you are a student who arrived in London but 2 days ago, a mere amateur. That is a mere amateur who beat you in court because you couldn't protect the...
me, princess.
Tito Tej has just donated $2. Thanks for the more you know, science fact.
The more you know. That was a pretty perfectly timed, well, excuse me, princess. Well, excuse me, Von Zeeks. I'll have you know that I beat your ass because you couldn't take care of the evidence properly, so get fucked. Yeah, do you even have a point? Being a compatriot, you feel compelled to try to help the accused, I suppose. Typical Nipponese arrogance.
Yeah, why don't you forgive me, but I don't really believe arrogance is an appropriate description.
Susato-san?
After all, at our previous encounter, the defendant was found to be innocent. You really dropped the ball, and you really fucked up, so I'm getting you to stop with your bullshit right fucking now.
Susato-san! I mean, thank you for having that back. Oh my god, she's pushing him to drink. Very true. And most fascinating, if dark trial it was too. The tragic conclusion came later, of course. Here's to the acquitted and his unfortunate, violent end. Yeah, I'll drink to that. Thank you, counsels. I see both sides are in fine fettle. Now, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, are you ready to carry out your duties here in court as impartial members of the public? Oh my god, are they brand new jury members? I hope so. I would love to meet them. Wait, I know him.
You never know when you might be down on your luck, but I believe in fair play for everyone.
She's new.
Well, I must warn you, I'm rather more ruthless than I appear.
Is she?
Oh, well, not me. Oh, what you see is what you get. I'm a peace-loving little fellow.
Wait a second.
Hey, I'm afraid to say I think it's quite possible that mustached foreigner did the deed.
What? Mrs. Garadeb? Whoa, Dad? Come on. What are we waiting for? No doubt he did it anyway. Sorry! I didn't quite catch that! Very well. Let us proceed. Your opening statement, if you please. Lord Von Zeeks. Very recently, Great Britain signed an alliance with a rising power in the Far East. The accused in the dock today is a student from that same land, a certain Mr. Soseki Natsume. Juror number 3 is not Lady First from the last case. He's actually a new character. Oh. Well, he must be related. They must be gay twins. That's what I'm going with. And while our country has extended this foreign student the warmest of welcomes, regrettably, the kindness has not been returned. In fact, this student is accused of a most sinister act. Of plunging a knife into the back of an innocent woman who was doing nothing but walking down the street.
A knife crime. I tell you from bitter experience, those are the worst. Bloody oath they are.
Just look at that shallow complexion and short stature. He's one of those dreadful Japanese.
God damn, the women are so fucking blatantly racist in this world.
Come on then, let's get it over with. With me now, everyone. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, I didn't quite catch that.
Pray, forgive the discourtesy of smashing my hollowed chalice here in this great chamber. Yeah, you should work on that, actually. Like, I get it, you're flashy and you think it's cool, but it's real fucking obnoxious, and it shows me that you have no real controls over your emotions, which is unbecoming of somebody who's going to stand in a courtroom and represent clients, you know? I just think, like, maybe you should have a little more tact, a little more grace, a little more dignity. It's giving not very slay, not very cunt. You know what I'm saying? It's giving more like straight man who can't control his anger. We don't vibe with that. Allow me to call the first witness to the stand.
Very well. Bailiff, lead the inspector in peace. Please, lead the inspector in, please.
Oh, great, it's Gumshoe. Your name and occupation, please.
Yes, sir. Tobias Gregson, Detective Inspector at Scotland Yard.
Would you please summarize the events of the case for the court, Inspector?
The victim is thought to be a young woman in her 20s by the name of Olive Green.
I didn't say anything. I will not be held accountable. Damn it, I don't have an age for her. The victim of this case, Olive Green, found with a knife in her back. Luckily, the wound didn't prove fatal, but the woman remains yeah, well, it probably is hard to be fatal if you can't break through the blubber layer. Oh! I'm sorry. I apologize. It popped into my head, and I was like, don't say it, and then I had to say it, and now I'm gonna get fucking ruined. Okay, continue.
I beg your pardon, Inspector. Thought to be.
Yes, having been stabbed in the back by your attacker's knife, the victim fell unconscious, you see. That was 3 days ago now, and she's been comatose ever since.
What? So, they don't even know who she is for sure?
Comatose, I see, but her life is not in danger.
If somebody's in a comatose state, I feel like... I certainly feel like that's not good. Tito DJ, you finished this game and the second one? Damn, you flew through this. I need to be faster. But yeah, great game. Nice. Fortunately for the Eastern students, the charge will not be murder. Pray, elaborate on the details, Inspector.
Sir, if I could ask everyone to look at this street map.
Yeah, okay. Fuck, I love the fucking logic music in this game.
As I mentioned, the incident took place 3 days ago at around 5 o'clock in the afternoon. It happened on the pavement running alongside Briar Road, a wide thoroughfare for horse-drawn vehicles.
Yeah.
It had not long since stopped snowing as the victim, Miss Green, was walking down the street. Out of the blue, she was approached from behind by the accused and stabbed in the back.
Allegedly.
Luckily, the young lady's white life was spared, and she's currently being treated in one of the city's hospitals. But being unconscious as she is, we've been unable to take a statement from her, of course.
Right. Fuck. Sorry. By all means, continue.
This is the case file with everything we know about the victim so far. Thank you, Inspector. The court will accept the documents as evidence, if you please.
Great! Case file. A file containing an overview of the case and details about the victim. She was found with a knife in her back. Yeah, okay, great. Is there more that I can look at from that, actually? Anything? Details! Young woman rendered unconscious following a stab wound to the back. Victim is olive green, female, stout build, early 20s. Location, the pavement of Briar Road, the east side. Reporting officer was Rolly Beat. Rolly Beat? Rolly Beat? Rolly Bit. Rolly Bit. Rolly Beat. There's a pun there, I think, maybe, possibly. Additional notes. The victim remains unconscious. Her name was gleaned from her personal effects. Other details are unknown. Apart from the single stab wound from the large knife, no other signs of injury observed. The assailant was seen running away by the reporting officer and was successfully arrested the following day. I'm already immediately a little bit sus of this Rolly Beat, Halibut? I don't know. I find him sussy. What of the weapon that was used?
Ah, sir, I have that here. It was removed from the victim's back.
Oh. Oh, Jesus. Alright, well, that thing's starting to make me scared to walk down the street.
With a heavy blade like that, almost anybody would have been able to stab the poor woman.
Even the scragged-looking Soseki-san, I suppose.
A common or garden jackknife, I would say, rather nondescript. Thank you, Inspector. The court accepts the blade as evidence.
Great. Well, maybe not great. I don't know.
Now then, what do we know of the motive? Was it money? Valuables, I presume? From what we can tell by looking at the woman's possessions, it appears she's a poor student herself. Hard to imagine she would have had anything much worth pinching, my lord. I see. Well, in that case, are we looking at some deep-seated resentment toward the victim? I'm afraid I couldn't say. Apart from visiting second-hand bookshops, the defendant, Mr. Natsume, doesn't appear to get out much. At this moment in time, we haven't been able to establish any sort of connection between him and the victim.
Yeah, that's great for me. I have a statement, if you don't mind. I would like to say that. That's why I'm raising my hand, you see. If theft and grievance had been ruled out as the motive, then what reason could Mr. Natsume possibly have for stabbing the young woman? So you arrested the man in spite of that, in a totally unjustified and heavy-handed way.
Objection!
I thought we just had this conversation. Pray, forgive the discourtesy of flinging a freshly uncorked bottle into the public gallery. That sounds like assault, actually. But your words have soured its hallowed bouquet. For it is you, my learned friend, who is being heavy-handed here. I beg your pardon? Scotland Yard does not arrest people without good cause. That should be beyond question. Well, then give me the cause. Inspector Gregson, the prosecution calls for your formal testimony. Explain to the court precisely why the constabulary came to arrest the Nipponese student.
Oh, yes, sir.
Alright, we'll see how this goes. Mr. Natsume's arrest.
As I said, it was 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, and there was an unusually light fog. Visibility was reasonably good, and there was no one else about but the victim and the accused. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed on the pavement. The accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. Those being a number of old books he'd just bought. He was on his way home from a bookshop, it seems.
Okay.
It was just a matter of working out who the books belonged to, and we found the bloke to arrest him.
That's not proof of anything.
Old books, you say? Yes, my lord. I have a photograph here of the scene of the crime taken immediately after the incident.
She's just keeled over. Oh no.
Oh yes, I can clearly see the books to which
You are referring. Fuck. I am dying.
I will take that photographic print as evidence, please, Inspector.
Yeah, I will also take it from my personal collection if you don't mind. Wait, what? John Brown! Every time Von Zeeks throws a bottle into the gallery, I imagine the fish from SpongeBob screaming, "My leg!" Great. It's fantastic. You Nipponese are a spineless breed, too cowardly to admit defeat. Denying everything despite overwhelming evidence to the contrary. Well, you see,
Forgive me, Lord Von Zeeks, but the defendant is not denying everything as you put it. It's another line of bullshit.
What are you doing, Susato-san?
Do go on, you loud woman.
Mr. Natsume has admitted to playing some part in the incident. Isn't that right, Mr. Naruhodo?
Well, now that you mention it, when we visited him in the prison yesterday, he did tell us what had happened.
As I was walking along the accursed pavement, I could make out the sole silhouette of another ahead of me. A woman, wearing a green overcoat she was, and just as I went to overtake her, she suddenly let out a little scream, collapsed onto the cold, hard slabs of stone at my feet. I was terrified. I had to get away from there. So I ran, as fast as my legs would carry me, back to my accursed lodgings.
Right.
A green overcoat.
Well, that's exactly what the woman in the print is wearing. Oh my! A photographic print in full color! What will the world come up with next?
The defendant has done nothing more than admit that he fled the scene of a terrifying incident. That does not mean that he's guilty of the heinous crime of stabbing the woman in the back. There was nobody else in there at the time, just the two of them, the victim and the accused. John Brown, there's that super chat donation. Sorry for the delay again, but thank you for it again. In other words, there is nobody else who could possibly have stabbed the woman. A fact that the accused concedes.
Well, it seems this cross-examination could prove to be pivotal, Counselor. Proceed, please.
Yeah, my lord. Okay, right. I have to use this cross-examination to turn the tables here. It is my only chance. Cross-examination time. Let's touch tips. Mr. Natsume's arrest. 5 o'clock in the afternoon when the incident occurred, there was an unusually light fog. I'm gonna press everything. Light fog, you say?
Well, light for London. You can see the opposite side of the street for once, but not much further.
That's light?
Around these parts, yes. Not something I'd expect a Japanese fellow like yourself to know, of course.
I've read that London is famous for its fog. Is that true? But in my country, people usually imagine that gives the city a rather beautiful appearance. How quaint.
Yeah, well, it's not something us Londoners tend to romanticize, as I expect you can appreciate.
I see.
At this time of year, the fog causes a large number of accidents, especially when it's heavy. Sometimes you can't even see your own hand at the end of your arm.
Indeed. The other day, I was very nearly trampled by horses before I could see the carriage they were pulling. Great. So, Susato-san and I should definitely remember to stop, look, and listen. However, on the day that concerns us, the fog was somewhat lighter than usual. A fact no doubt lamented by the accused. Maybe. Okay, visibility good, no one else around. Okay. And how are you able to state that with any certainty? Quite simply, my learned friend. Because that is what the witness to this crime have told us. The witness is... Ah, yes. Inspector Gregson mentioned the witnesses yesterday, didn't he?
That's right! One of them is a policeman, I believe, from Scotland Yard.
That is correct, ma'am.
Then we must hear their testimony. The prosecution will of course call them to the stand should it be necessary. But wait a minute. At 5 o'clock in the afternoon, in the middle of winter, it would have been dark already. No matter how light the fog might have been, no one could have seen. I'm unaware of the situation on your tiny island in the east. But here in the capital city of Great Britain, all main roads are illuminated in the night by gas streetlights. Oh. Fancy. The prosecution believes there would have been ample light by which to witness the crime.
Quite. Here in London, for the first time in history, mankind has completely conquered the darkness.
So that means we really need to hear those witnesses' statements. If I could just get through the fog of this cross-examination, maybe I could do something. It seems the counsel for the defense is taking stock. Continue with your testimony, Inspector. Yeah, right. Out of the blue, the victim was stabbed from behind and subsequently collapsed onto the pavement. That tracks, I feel. Johnny, hello. From behind, you say?
That's right, as you can see from this print.
Right.
Yeah, quite so. The handle of the weapon is clearly protruding from the victim's back.
Yeah, but there's no blood. Isn't that odd?
And you say this poor woman, Miss Green, remains in a critical condition, comatose no less. I'm afraid so, my lord. Yeah, she's been treated at parts. I was hopeful she'd come around before the trial started so I could take a statement, but just wasn't meant to be. Yes, that is indeed a pity. It would have been most illuminating to hear the victim's own account of events.
Luck is on your client's side, it seems. Yay. On the contrary, my client has been exceedingly unlucky. Oh yeah, right, yeah, for sure. Your force of tone is seriously undermined by those disturbingly wide eyes, I'm afraid. Yeah, you might be right about that. Alright, the accused ran off, scattering his belongings all over the floor. I mean, that's kind of true, isn't it? Mr. Natsume's belongings.
I think you'll find it's all right there in the photographic print of the crime.
All of his books. The books on the floor.
Water, drink.
Josh!
Water, drink.
Oh my!
Water, bitch. Oh, drink. Water, drink. Water, drink. Water, bitch.
Josh has just donated $9. Have some water to quench our throat, be a hydro homie. Also, can I use my donations to you as a tax write-off because I'll call the charity for George being a sweet guy.
Oh my god. I do think that's very much illegal, but I will take you up on drinking water because I could certainly use some. Thank you for the water donation. Let me get a cup, let me get a glass, let me get a drink. A little bit of water goes a long way to keeping me a happy and safe boy. I'm here, I'm still queer, and I'm ready to drink some good quality dihydrogen oxide. Thank you, once again, for the water donation. Alright, books on the floor. Anything sussy about them?
That's right, my lord. Second-hand books. They were irreparably damaged after falling in the snow, of course.
The accused could easily have carried all 3 books in one hand, which means his other hand would have been free to wield a knife, for example. That's very speculative.
He's very clever, isn't he?
What do you mean?
He's made it extremely hard for you to assert that Mr. Natsume had his hands full with his books. He's managed to close the one avenue of escape we might have had before we even knew it was there.
You mean to say that the defendant was holding his belongings as he thrust the knife into the woman's back? That must be what happened, my lord, yeah.
Fuck. I don't think I'm making a lot of progress. Those being a number of old books he just bought, he was on his way home from a bookshop. All of this lines up with what my guy told me. Yeah, the defendant apparently visits a secondhand bookshop on a daily basis.
Yeah, so I understand. A shop full of old English literature.
Yeah. I commend the accused on the lofty subject matter of his scholarly attention.
The bloke's room was stacked floor to ceiling with those musty old books.
Could you tell us more about the bookshop in question, please, Inspector?
Well, if I must, I'll have to ask you to look at the street map again.
Okay. Bourbon Books. Okay. That's where the bookshop is. I think I might be seeing something weird coming together. Okay. It's on the corner of Briar Road and Meerschaum Street. And that's his home. So, if my guy was walking from Bourbon Books to his home, he would have been southbound. I don't know if that matters. I don't know. And I might be completely making up this detail. I thought the woman who was stabbed was walking north. This might be completely... Never mind. I don't know. I guess... Forget it. I'm making up facts as I go along here. Never mind. Okay, so yeah, the route he would have taken home is going southbound. Yeah. That's fine. Something like this. Yeah. Okay, well now we have it committed to stone. I'm sure something's gonna be wrong with the route.
Yes, I concur with your conclusion, Inspector. The defendant would certainly have passed the scene of the crime on his way home from that particular shop.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think that what the inspector just told us could turn out to be of vital importance.
I agree, but I think it's like there, somewhere in the back of my mind, what's wrong here. But like, I think I'm like fucking it up, Susato-san.
Don't worry, you'll definitely get it, eventually.
Right. The most important point that the inspector just made is definitely the location. The crucial detail in what you've just told the court, Inspector, is the location of the bookshop.
Couldn't agree more.
So, where is it exactly?
Huh? Oh, you winding me up, Sunshine! I just explained! I got the map out and everything.
Yeah, he kinda did, Naruhodo.
And I distinctly remember seeing you not along, Counsel.
Oh, right, sorry. Oopsies. The blunder of the day goes to you, my learned friend. Oh, not yet, I'm sorry.
Mr. Naruhodo, I would strongly advise you to carefully look through the court record at this stage.
Oh. I guess I fucked up again. A receipt discovered in Mr. Natsume's room for the books that he purchased. Your books. Oh, Lord have mercy on my soul. He doesn't go to Bourbon Books. He goes to your books. Also, what was he reading? The sum of 2 shillings tendered in receipt of the picture of Monsieur Lecoq. No. What? No. That sounds like something I would read. Is that porn? A meal for Gabriel and Canterbury Yearnings. Is it a real book? Hang on. Time to become learned, friends. The picture of Monsieur Lecoq. Oh God, this is a terrifying image. A fictional detective. Hang on. I need to just. We need to. it's important that I show this to you guys, because, you know, we're all in this together. We're all in this together. Ba, ba, bum, ba, da, dum. This is the one, I think. Yeah, look at that! Nightmare fuel. Hang on, I can make it smaller for you. Whoo! These boys. That is... Wait, I can make it more. Monsieur! Lecoq! Okay, anyways, sorry. Getting distracted. Getting ahead of myself. Why don't I do the thing? Why don't I get us where we need to go? I know what is wrong here, and I'm going to call it out, in fact. Because that's what I should be doing. Okay. Don't worry, I got it. I fixed my oopsies. Okay. It was this one.
Hold it!
Press this. The name of the bookstore is the problem. I'll have some more water. Bourbon Books. That's his house. Oh man, I really fucked this up. Here we go again. Yeah, oops, okay, yeah, for sure. Okay. Pardon me. Okay. Most important point. It's the name. Inspector Gregson, can I ask you a favor? What? Would you kindly add the name of the bookshop to your formal testimony? I believe it might be of vital importance for me to embarrass the living piss out of you when I, object to your statement. You know, just doing what the good lawyers do. It's an important clue. Very well. Okay, great. Yeah, okay, great. For sure. Fuck yeah. Alright. Bourbon Books, present. Oh, really? If I could just stop you there, Inspector Gregson.
What is it, Sunshine? I'm a busy man, you know.
Okay, you're still calling me Sunshine. That's a little weird. This is a receipt that we found in Mr. Natsume's room. It was issued on the day of the incident and details the purchase of the secondhand books.
And you found that in the accused's room, did you?
Yes, I did. The point is not where the receipt was found, but the name of the shop that's printed on it. Go on. This receipt was issued from a bookshop called Your Books.
Your Books? Y-O-R-E, I presume.
Yes, my lord. So Mr. Natsume did indeed purchase a number of books at a secondhand bookshop that day. However, the bookshop in question was not Bourbon Books.
Eh? What? Inspector, did you know of this other bookshop? Well, yes, sir. Your Books is another secondhand bookshop not far from Bourbon Books. It's just that, well, it's such a small place, I didn't think the accused would have known about it.
But it, in fact, is the bookshop in which the defendant visited on the day in question. And for you to overlook such an important detail, how could you possibly be an inspector? This receipt proves it.
Objection!
Yes, for what difference it makes. Wherever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. That's for me to decide. I disagree, actually. I mean, after all, I have the street map here if it might be of help. Oh, yeah, for sure. Thanks. Have a look at this, please. If the defendant had been returning from Bourbon Books, then yeah, he most certainly would have passed the place where Miss Green was attacked. However, if we take into account the fact that he was actually at another bookshop, Your Books, it may well turn out that he wouldn't have passed that location at all.
Oh? Well, can that be true?
My. It rather depends on where the other bookshop is, but I do declare, it could be a possibility. Oh, is that right, Mr. Lawyer, sir? What you just said?
It absolutely is right, Twink. It could be right.
Inspector Gregson, where is Your Books establishment? Well, obviously we looked into that. It turns out that your books is just here, on the next corner of Meerschaum Street.
So interesting. He could have gone either direction, honestly, because it's at the other corner.
And there you have it, as you can clearly see now.
Oh, wait. Well... Huh. My learned Nipponese friend is obviously in training to be a clown, the way he regales us with such witticisms. That's a word. To your future career in the circus.
Now why don't you just put that glass down? Or I'll put it down for you.
Jesus Christ, Susato-san.
I didn't think I needed to spell it out, but here we go. If the accused was coming home from your books instead of bourbon books, there's no doubt he still would have passed the place where the victim was stabbed.
What if he took the other road?
Yes. Thank you, Inspector.
Allow me to reiterate for my learned, if somewhat slow, Nipponese friend. My guy, Jesus fucking Christ, can you chill? Wherever the man purchased his musty tomes, it makes no difference in the final analysis. Oh god, oh, it was so bad I threw my back, and then I'm bussy into the wall, and then my face into the floor. As I suspected, you can't fool me, and I don't suggest you try.
What did I say, I've had enough of this now.
Beg your pardon! Terribly sorry, but could you mind speaking the fuck up?
Mr. Naruhodo, we mustn't give up.
Well, what do you mean? What do I do?
Well, if the prosecution's assertion is correct, the members of the jury may very well decide that Mr. Natsume is guilty.
Yeah, no, we don't want that.
We have to think. We must consider the assertion just put forward by the prosecution very carefully.
Right. They claim Soseki-san must have passed the location of the incident on his way home from your books, but I'm gonna raise an objection. 'Cause what else can I do? The assertion just made by the prosecution is fundamentally flawed. Really?
Explain yourself, counsel.
Yeah, my lord. You can see what I mean on this map. When returning from your books to his lodgings, Mr. Natsume could have followed the route suggested by the prosecution. However, that isn't the only conceivable route to take between the two places. Yeah, here we go. If the defendant used these streets, look at what happens. He arrives back at his lodgings without passing the location where the victim was attacked. Talking back to a clown is a fool's errand, of course. However, I feel compelled to point out that that route is what is commonly referred to as the long way round. Yeah, that's not abnormal. Haven't you ever, like, gone on the long walk? The scenic, they call it, where I come from, we call it the scenic route. Sometimes you're wrapping up a date with a special fella and you're like walking back to your place and you're like, you know, why don't we take the long way back? You know? Granted, Soseki-san wasn't on a date, but you can also do it by yourself, you know? Sometimes you just like to look at, you know, the neighborhood, get a feel for the streets, especially if you're visiting. If you're visiting a new place that's not your homeland, you might want to like walk around a little bit, take in the sights. On a cold winter's night, why would any man choose to take a longer route home? Well, not everybody's as sensitive to the cold as you little bitch. The answer is extremely simple. He wouldn't. In other words, the accused took the obvious route back to his lodgings and is the obvious perpetrator of this crime. But... Wait. Yeah! I've got it. Obviously, we must ask the man himself. Ask Mr. Natsume which route he took home. I have already informed the court of the accused's response to such questioning. He claims he has no recollection. What the fuck, Natsume?
That's right. As I said, the bloke seems to spend his time outside wandering aimlessly from A to B. That day was no exception. Says he doesn't remember where he was or which route he took home.
Right. Well, I don't believe this! God damn it. I thank you, my learned friend, and suggest that we do not waste any more of the court's time by wandering aimlessly around this subject. Pray, what say your insightful jurors? But, even if that is the case, the defense still- Uh-oh. Oh god, not the old man being mad at us. Not the chwink giving up.
I agree with Lord Von Zeeks. Wholeheartedly and in every way.
What? I don't believe it. Wait, does this mean...
We members of the jury are completely convinced now.
Very well. In that case, I hereby call upon all members of the jury to present your findings to the court.
Guilty.
Oh!
Guilty.
Oh!
Guilty.
That's not your voice.
Guilty.
Oh.
Guilty.
That's definitely not your voice. Okay, well, you know what? Fuck me, I guess. Fuck court. Fuck Britain. This sucks. Oh my god. It would appear the jury's leading is unanimous. Yeah, thanks, Catherine Obvious. Oh my god, why does this always happen to me? Okay, so, Susato-san, is it time to do that summation of the jury thing again? Right? To the insightful members of the jury, I applaud your brave resolve. You serve Queen and country Jesus fuck. Yeah. Alright, they served cunt, alright.
Mr. Naruhodo.
This isn't over yet. I still have one last chance to sway the opinion of the jury. I have to tip the balance of those scales the other way around. It's time to turn it around. Somehow I have to do it. I don't quite know how. Those are the eyes of Query not yet willing to give up and die. You're right. That's correct. So I presume you intend to wield your rights again into this trial. Rights of the defense written into the antiquated British law that should have been buried long ago. You got that right, stud. You can call it antiquated if you want, but it's the defense's prerogative to carry out a summation examination if it so chooses. Very well, counsel. In accordance with the letter of the law, we shall proceed with the summation examination. Are the members of the jury ready, Mr. Foreman?
Of course we're ready. I'm all too familiar with that Nipponese whippersnapper and his uncle's refusal to throw in his alley.
Very well, then. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, you will each explain on what grounds you have determined the defendant to be guilty. And they're going to do it in the next one, guys. Oh, I'm sorry to cut it here. It's 20 minutes early, 8:10. I feel like it's possible this might take longer than 20 minutes going through the summation examination, and I'm not feeling the best. As I said, my throat's a little bit weird. My head's not in the best, like, I don't know, I have a little bit of a headache. So I'm gonna call it for the night, but I will be back, not tomorrow, because tomorrow I'm going to Toronto for a friend's birthday, and it's the weekend, but I will be back sooner than later, and we will do this, and I will sway over the jury. I'm just gonna have to leave you guys on a cliffhanger for now, because that's what I do these days. Again, I also owe you an apology, because I did skip 2 stream nights this week, so we have fallen behind on the schedule. I'm just gonna have to start playing the game a lot better to get us back on track with the schedule. boys, we do the darndest things for them. What can I say? Anyways, thank you guys very much for understanding. If you could please leave a like on the stream, the engagement is super helpful. If you could join the Discord, that is a place where you can hang out and you could submit suggestions for any clips that you might come across while watching videos on my channels that you might think makes excellent shorts, because I am still trying to do shorts for a little while here on the channel, see how that does. And that's about it. So yeah, toodles and goodbye, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your night, okay? Oh, I should probably save before I forget. Definitely don't want to forget to do that. Let's make sure we have a record of that. We're gonna save. Saving the progress. Save is complete. And now we're good. Okay. Toodles!